and tribulations that we've gone through. It only makes us human, and it connects one of us.
So I just want to know, what would be your advice to someone who is looking to start their own podcast?
First and foremost, let me back up. Find your voice. What are you going to talk about? Is it something that people want to listen to? How long will your podcast be? What's going to be the consistency of your podcast? Are you going to do it like weekly, daily? Are you going to do it monthly? So once you find that, because that's going to indicate if somebody wants to listen to your podcast or not. I do know how I'm doing it. I'm doing it with God. I'm doing it because this is a passion of mine. And when you are passionate about something, you're not going to stop. So it really it comes down to how bad do you want it.
It definitely comes down to how bad do you want it. Happy Monday, Jazzie crew. It is a fantastic Monday. It is October. It is definitely October. And you know how I know that? Because I just celebrated my 45th birthday. It is Scorpio season. So happy birthday to all of the Scorpios out there in Scorpio season land. I had a phenomenal time. And I am not one of those people who shy away from age, because I truly feel that age is simply a number, and it is a blessing to reach every pivotal birthday, milestone. And 45 is a milestone for me. And so I'm elated. I'm happy. I'm living in my purpose. And so I thank God for that every single day. If you are tuned in, then of course you are part of my Jazzie crew, and you know how much I love Mondays. Mondays is my favorite day of the week, because it is a new start. We set new goals. We have a new trajectory for what we want to accomplish for this particular week. And so I hope you started your week off with crushing your goals. We are still in 2024, so you still have time to reach all of your goals. And I definitely am rooting for you along the sidelines. I want you to make sure, because you know what time it is, right? You know that when fall comes, you know that it's that time of the year where I celebrate my podcast anniversary show. And so we are gearing up for the 3-year podcast anniversary live show for the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast, held right here in Polk County, Florida. It is going to be at the Well in Lakeland, 114 East Parker Street. And we are going to celebrate. November 9th is going to be a celebration from noon to 5. I need for you to get your tickets on eventbrite.com. You will have an opportunity to get tickets tonight, but you have to be watching live. I know how you like to come back and watch the replay, but you got to be watching live in order to get those tickets. And I may quiz you on my special guest. So you got to make sure that you are paying attention. Make sure you share this. Make sure you tag people in the comment section so that they can come on in and they can watch the live broadcast as well. This is a celebratory event where we're going to have live interviews. If you've never been to a podcast event where it's live, you are going to be a part of the studio audience. And so all you have to do is come dressed casually chic with a pop of yellow. Y'all see how I have the pop of yellow on my nails? So that's what we're going to do. Casually chic with a pop of yellow. That is the theme for this year. So live interviews, right? I have special guests ranging from the hilarious, fantastic, super duper talented Mr. Jason Alexander of Smart Mouth Entertainment himself, of J Styles Events. He is going to be one of the people that's going to be my special guest. I also have the fantastic and dynamic Mr. Christopher King, who is the CEO and proprietor of the Gentleman's Course, and he does so much more. Interviewing me is going to be someone near and dear to my heart. Listen, God works this thing out. Do you hear me? Someone that I've been admiring for years. And it just so happens that she started working with me at my job unexpectedly this year. Someone that I looked up to, that I admired. But the fantastic, dynamic Miss Media herself, Miss Andrea Oliver Clark, is going to be doing a special interview with me. And then, of course, I have a new podcast that's going to be debuting their very first live show with me. It is the Experience Life podcast with co-host Catrice Hadley and also with Dee Powell. So I cannot wait. DJ Kim Blaze is going to be on the ones and twos. We have live performances. You do not want to miss this show. Vendors, food trucks. We have photo stations. It's going to be a celebration. So get your tickets. We are only 13 days away. November 9th from noon to 5. Did you vote? That is a pivotal question, that an intricate, essential question that I want to ask you. Did you vote? Early voting is going on right now. You don't even have to go to your regular precinct. You can go to any precinct at this time. For us in Central Florida, the last day to early vote is November 3rd. So I need for you to make sure that you get to the polls and you vote. I would tell you that it doesn't matter who you vote for, but ultimately, it absolutely, the trajectory of this country depends on who you vote for. All right. So I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Y'all better vote. Okay. It's just plain and simple. You guys better vote. So make sure you go to the polls. All right. So I've gotten all of the pleasantries out. I love social media. This episode tonight, episode 137, is a testament of the power of the internet, the power of social media. I was on a platform in a promotion group, and I happened to be talking about, I think I was talking about my podcast, or I said something, and this gentleman made a comment on my post, and we've been talking ever since. And it is so amazing. It's so ironic as well, because y'all, I'm bringing on a wildcat. I am bringing, I can see his face. Akiva, you hear me, right? You hear me, right? Who are the illustrious highest of 7 hills, and bringing on a wildcat, y'all. I was like, he's a wildcat, but
yes.
Listen, I love me some HBCU. We are family. It is HBCU pride all up and through here. You guys just celebrated your homecoming. Did you get to make it to homecoming by any chance?
I did. I was there.
Oh, you did. And you are on with me on a Monday at 7 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. It don't stop. It don't stop.
You don't stop.
No.
What did you enjoy about homecoming this year? Like, was it nostalgic? Like, tell me about it. What was it?
Well, you know, when you come to a Wildcats homecoming, it's all that, you know, all that, you know. So, but we had a great time. But one thing that really stood out for me, of course, the band, you know, the band. But I was invited to.
He laying on real thick. I'm gonna let him, but he laying it on real thick, y'all. Of course, I'm gonna let you do that.
But but I was invited to talk to the concert chorale, Bethune-Cookman Concert Chorale.
Oh, that's amazing.
And because I was there, I was trying to recruit for some backup singers for my play. And man, just talking to the students and the alumni that was there, it was amazing, you know. So it was great to get back and plant seeds back into my alma mater.
That feels really good, right? What year did you graduate from Bethune?
1996.
1996. All right. So I started FAM in 1998 and I graduated in 2002. So
I knew you was a rattler. You
know, because the band. Let me tell you about the band. you know, I got to throw that in there, right?
Yes.
You know, I had to throw that in there, and so no, but it is definitely all love. I was reading your bio. I love to give my guests their just due when they are on the podcast. So I definitely, for episode 137, have the tremendous honor of interviewing playwright Akiva D. McClam. And I am, did I say your name correctly?
Yes.
All right. I want to make sure that I get that right. So you were born in Fort Lauderdale, huh?
Yeah, Broward County.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale. Those who know the history, that's what we call it.
Woo! Listen, let me tell you. So you were raised by your grandmother because your parents passed away when you were 15 years old. And from there you got the current phrase of being called the Renaissance man, right? Because you excelled in sports, you excelled in writing, you excelled in the arts. It's just something that just has always been in you. And then you went to Bethune-Cookman College. Now, what did you major in at Bethune?
I majored as a sociology major. I got a BS in that, you know. Wasn't even in drama or nothing like that.
Yeah.
In theater. It was nothing like that.
Why?
You know? It wasn't, I didn't know my passion, my purpose yet.
Okay.
Yeah. That came
later.
later.
You were good at it.
yeah, it was in me, but I didn't know the purpose of that was going to be a full-time thing one day, So, but sociology actually helped me out when I deal with my actors and everything.
Got you. And so, from there, you've had a career in the military. How did that come about?
You know what? In Daytona Beach, I graduated, worked for the Department of Juvenile Justice for 3 years. And I just wanted more in life. And I heard this advertisement over the radio. And they were talking about, you can go back to school and we'll pay for it.
What? And you do what?
And I said, what? Hey, you don't go to HBCU now. You pay some bills now,
Right.
You pay some bills. But so that caught my attention. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay, that's the last one, I promise. That's the last one, I promise.
Right now, you're all good. We're family, So I may get you later on before the show.
Okay.
But, I took it, and I didn't know much about the officer side and enlisted side. I decided to go in the military. Had this enlisted guy said, "Yeah, man, we'll get you in. You got a degree. You're going as an A1C." And ever since then, I've been in the military. Great life in the military. I stationed at Andrews Air Force Base in DC area, the Maryland area, and did that for 9 years until I got out medical discharge and they retired me. So
okay. Yeah. And then from there, you went back and you got your master's, but this time it was something different though.
Yeah. Because of the military introduced me to security and cryptographic devices and things like that, gave me a top secret clearance. And I said, okay, when I learned about that top secret clearance, I reckoned that was money,
Exactly.
So I decided to go into information systems, got my master's degree in that at Strayer University. So shout out to all the Strayer University alumni there as well. And I've been working from the FBI to the Department of Homeland Security, the House of Representatives, different agencies like that,
Yeah, that's amazing. Like you have definitely some experience under your belt. And so how did we land into the field of being this dynamic playwright? Like I minored in theater at Florida A&M University. I've always loved theatrics. Like I've always loved being in plays and going to watch plays and all of those things. And so I wonder, what gave you the courage to go back and follow your passion? How did you know that, okay, it's time to follow my passion?
Well, it started in 1998. No, I'm sorry. Not 1999. That was years ago. 2009, I was asked to write a play for my church at the time, right? And wrote a Christian production. And just because of their response, now, Jazz, I never went to school for writing.
Yeah.
I never, but I had you've been a theater major and the love for it. I had the love to watch the movies. When I used to go to the movies, I just didn't watch it like the normal person that go watch the movies. I watched everything from the lighting, the setting, everything. I followed the camera and I was like, okay, why did they choose that picture to start the movie off? So I was thinking differently, and I always had a robust imagination type thing. And I could tap in and tap out into another world where, I'm maybe at a party or whatever, but I'm thinking about something else. I'm in my imagination. So that was in me. But when I started writing, until I said yes to God, because I didn't never wrote, but I said, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity and say, God, I'm going to do it. As soon as I said yes, no lie, I literally God gave me this vision of this production. And I literally saw the words coming around me. And I just grabbed my laptop and I just started typing.
Wow.
And look, I never went to school to how to prepare and put everything in order. The Holy Spirit gave me all that, and I wrote it down and I directed the play and I produced it. And then when I saw the audience response to it after the play, I looked like I must have got something here. They gave me a standing ovation.
Yeah. Wow. That is just at your church. And
it's at my church.
That's the response that you got. I when I listen to you, because with my podcast, I have a mantra that I truly believe that you can come back from anything. But I know for a fact that there is a formula. And the formula that I've devised after going through what I needed to go through, listening to other people, and even your episode 137, I never coerce people. Like I know sometimes, we in podcast land, in theater land, You know, sometimes we can have conversations before because this is what I want you to give me for this scene. But
Right.
none of my podcasts are scripted. I don't even tell my guests this at all. I don't tell them. I don't try to lead them to say, oh, it's because of God that this is da 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 da. And I am just telling you, like, for those people who want to boss up, for those people who just want to be very successful, and you just think you have to get it out of the mud, and it's because it's who you know, etc. You have it all backwards if you don't start with the foundation. And so I truly believe that you can come back from anything with God, knowing how to use the resources that you have effectively. You have to use the right resources effectively, and you have to be willing to do the necessary work. And so just those three things, I truly believe that you can make a comeback. And so just reading your bio and then hearing what you had to say, you know, you want to create these productions that ultimately lead people to God. Like they are able to become closer to him through your productions. And so to hear you say you were sitting there and you're just like, you know, God just give me the vision, or God just help me. And then you see these words, just like the scrolling banner at the bottom.
Yeah.
You heard his voice. He heard you. And words just start coming to you. You've never written a play before. Like, how does that happen to the non-believer? Like, what is it, Akiva, do you think you had in you that God said, I got you?
It was already in me. I knew as a young man, I was fascinated by God. I used to do things out of the ordinary. You know, it's like I feel I had the heart of David at a young man as a teenager. So until I got older and mature, until I said yes to his will, he gave me the vision. He gave me the plan, and I was able to see it clearly. And that's why he basically unleashed everything to me. Yeah. And then I just started writing. And then not only that, I wrote that, then plays after plays started coming after that in my mind, you know? Yeah. So that's what started.
So is it just faith of the mustard seed and then just doing it, just starting? Because, you know, you have a lot of people who are sitting on their dreams right now as far as being a playwright. They are afraid to show their art because they don't feel that it's going to be good enough, or they don't know how the audience is going to take it. So what advice would you give that person?
I say jump out there and do it, because right now we can't look at, we can't be afraid. Matter of fact, you never know who will like your work. Like, for an example, you know, when Tubi first came out, everybody was laughing at Tubi.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just saw the camera behind that actor.
It's like y'all are not in the hospital. This
right.
is not hospital.
you come back to the other scene. They had a black wig on. That's how they call it, a purple wig on. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the world's going on here? Right.
But they started.
They had a vision, and they did it. You know, They probably didn't have a much budget, but they did it. Only thing I tell anybody who's doing it or have a mind to do it, just do it, man. Who cares? You gotta get to a point in life. Who cares what people think? You know. And I think when you succeed in life, those millionaires, those billionaires, they got to the point in their life, they're like, I don't care what you think about me, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know, just do it.
Do you think age plays a factor in that? I know it plays a factor in it, but do you think it plays a huge factor like some people think it does?
I think so. Well, you know, it can if you fall into that trap. When you're talking about your age, and I commend you for stating your age, you know, say you don't look near your age at all.
Well, thank you.
I
appreciate it.
You weren't afraid to say that. And I respect women when they do that. And I respect anybody, you know, when men to do that. I'm 51 years old, you know what I'm saying? And so,
that's right.
Right.
And you don't look anywhere near 51. I wouldn't have thought that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And so I would think like, oh man, look at Tyler. He started much younger. He's a billionaire. But he's at this age, I'm starting real late. If I start thinking like that, I'll never achieve anything. Yeah. You see that word bracket behind me, achieve? I look at that thing every day. Yeah. You know, I can't let nothing stop me, even my age, because that's why you got to stay youthful in the mind and in the heart. And like you said with your podcast, you got to be able to tap into technology. Always keep that hustle going on, because, you know, you always gonna need that hustle in life to do things, you know. So if you tap into and believe in that, you will fall into a trap and you'll never achieve. But if you say, you know, I don't care how old I am, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I had a past guest who's achieving fantastic things, and his book kind of mirrors what my podcast is about. And something that he said to me in that podcast just keeps going around and around and around in my head, and it's been doing so ever since he stated it. And he pretty much likened the comeback is basically somebody who continuously has to look back. Like you're always looking back and saying that I don't want to go back to that. But I don't see the comeback as being that. I see the comeback as being an ever present effort of you becoming better. Whether you've lost something, whether it is an opportunity that you were afraid to do back then, but it's like, now I'm going to do it. And it's like, I have that experience as a foundation of what I'm about to do or what I'm about to achieve. But it's really not about consistently looking back and laboring in that thought process of, woe is me. This is who I was. This is, it's not about that. It is specifically about realizing, giving honor to that past, but knowing, oh my gosh, like I made it. Like I made it happen in spite of. This is where I am right now, and I'm continuing to elevate. Not always looking back, but my trajectory is upward and onward, and it's moving forward. And so, at the epicenter, at the heart of this podcast is your comeback. And so, what do you, Akiva? What do you feel is your comeback?
I listened to what you were saying about looking backwards, and that's one thing that we can't do. Always look back in our past. Right. If I do that, man, I would never achieve anything. I thought about, like you said, I'm not scripted. I decided to not look at nothing. I wanted to come in and have a conversation with you, and so to be authentic. Yeah. If I look at a comeback, I think I had multiple comebacks, in life. One, my first comeback when I came back, just keeping myself above water after I lost my parents. Now, I lost my mom first at the age of 13. Wow. Right. And then watching her go through a series of illness, and then she died. Then a year later, I lost my father. After that, he got murdered in Miami, Wow. So I stayed moving forward. That was a comeback. Just keep on moving forward. And fast forward to life. And without getting into really getting like, real sad story, but you got to have a serious thing to come back to something, So in 2020, where I felt like that was a year that's trying to take me out. Oh, wow. So not only
I think that was a year for a lot of us.
Yeah. In that year, not only COVID happened, right, and shut everything down. Yeah. I sat alone by myself in COVID. It's because I went through a divorce, right? So I was divorced. I stayed in COVID by myself, in the house. A lot of people couldn't do that, but I felt like that was a time for me to be alone with God, get myself together. Coming from off a divorce, I had to look at myself in the mirror, right? Then after that, I got a call from my doctor. Say, "Are you sitting down?" And I'm like, "I'm not." I said, "Let's just talk." I said, "Do you have anybody you can call?" I said, "No, don't worry about that. I got God." Right. Because I went to do some testing. My stomach was bothering me. Couldn't find out they diagnosed me with chronic leukemia.
Oh, goodness.
Right. And so I sat down. I heard the word chronic. I'm thinking like, oh, Lord, I got 6 months to live. I don't diagnose myself how long I'm going to live already.
Right. He's like,
but that illness did not stop me because I gave that to God. I'm on medication for that. There's no sign of any cancer in my system, Awesome. Am I taking medication? Yes, I'm taking medication for, chemo type medication on a daily basis. I came back from that. I didn't let that stop me. I had a driven purpose. And then because I couldn't write plays for 2 years because of COVID and things like that, I came back from that and started writing more plays because at the beginning, after the military, I used to finance my own plays. Military, when you go to school, military pay you to go to school. Instead of me using that money the military gave me to buy cars, motorcycles, clothes, whatever, I was financing my plays. I did that for a few years. Then I ran out of money. That's when I lost my job in 2013. lost my job and, you know, the nice little government contract.
Yeah.
And then one guy, he saw me, he said, "Hey man, why you not writing plays no more?" I said, "Well, I'm writing plays for the church now because I don't have any money like that, you know, as I was funding before." He said, "Well, man, you got it." He said, "I remember you gave me an opportunity to be one of your vendors at your play in 2013.
Wow.
And I think I believe in you, what you got." So he and I started talking and we became, you know, business partners. So for the last, I would say 4 years, I have a silent partner that been financing my plays for me, you know? And so upon that comeback, because I never gave up, you know, in 2013 and 2020, my comebacks have brought more people to follow me and believe in me and want the best for me. So it's good to have a comeback, but at the same time, it's never to look good, you know, good to look backwards. And that's what I refuse to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, you know, God played a critical role in you being steadfast through it? Because you've said some things that are heavy, you know, people who go through a loss of a parent, you know, people who go through an illness, you know, financial situations. Like you are at the top 3. Like those are the top 3 things in life that people are like, this is gonna break me. You know, you have people wanting to end it all over those, you know, scenarios. Because I was surprisingly, I've never been married before. And we were talking about this at dinner because it's like, I don't know about you. I don't even know if you're single, but as I feel as a woman, it's like we can never escape having a conversation about a relationship. Like you could be going in the grocery store, you're gonna have a conversation about a relationship. It's just like I cannot go anywhere without having a conversation about a relationship. And so we were just talking about marriage, and they were, you know, the conversation just geared, you know, behind the fact that it's a business arrangement ultimately. Like that's why it's so important that you choose your partner wisely. You know, that's, you know, it's just a big commitment. And so how do you feel about that? Like what carried you through that? Because for me, that, like you said, 2020 almost took you out. What got you through? Like yes, God, but did you have anything else that you were able to lean on?
It was you know, because you already mentioned it was God, right? So the main thing, Jazz, it was my purpose in life.
Yes.
Yeah, my passion for what I like to do. I'm not done yet. I know all the things I have in my mind. I'm passionate about it, and I know I got a lot of work to do. So that's what kept me driving. You know, I'm like, no, I'm gonna continue to do what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
I got plenty more time to live on this earth because I got a lot of work to do. So I really feel that my passion kept me driven.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I wake up thinking about it. I go to bed thinking about it. I take breaks thinking about it. You know, if you're serious about it, you'll never stop thinking about it.
That's very true. And I know you are a man. I know you're a manly man. Talk about that fear component. Like, are there any times that you had fear, fearful thoughts, and then how did you overcome them?
Fearful thoughts like far in the production or just in life?
In terms of not succeeding, like what if this does not happen? Like I'm chasing my dreams, but you know, I'm the breadwinner. Like I'm the one that's supposed to, you know, which is, you know, is you, but at the same time, you know, you're the man. So, you know, you have all of these standards and all of these requirements that we put on men, but that factor of it not working out. How did you get over that?
So
that's your brain.
Yeah. So the fear factor is always there. So it's not me alone. I'm in a relationship now as well, you know. So my thing with that, because I'm driving for my purpose, I'm also got to think about the woman in my life as well. You know what I'm saying? The family in my life as well. So at the same time, though, I always got to remember my purpose in life. Can't let anything stop me for the purpose in my life. So when I chose the woman in my life to come into my life, she has to understand who I am as a man. Right. She had to understand my drive. If she showed that she can't handle that, I would have to push her aside and say, this ain't going to work out for the best of us. Because once again, because I know my purpose,
Yeah.
A lot of time people will put their purpose on hold. It's okay to work and have a balance things out, set standards. You're still gonna have a love life, a romantic life. But at the same time, you got to support one another.
Right.
And so I had to choose wisely on that as well. She's doing a great job. I have to give her kudos.
Well, kudos to her.
What if she's watching or listening? But just in case she watches this thing or her family or friends, I don't put that out there.
We're like, I said it now.
Yeah. But the fear thing is always there, because you wonder and you fear that, is anybody gonna show up on the play? Or am I gonna sell out? Are we gonna meet the budget? Will the cast, do they believe in me?
Yeah.
You gotta get over all that. You gotta get over all that and just trust that you're built for this, trust that you're called to do this, and just do it and believe. First, you gotta believe in yourself.
Right.
So the fear factor is always gonna be there, because as much Satan's, the enemy, he always gonna put doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
Always. I can go and have a successful December 14 production and turn around the following year when I get ready to do it. He's going to come back and try to, bring more attacks to me to put the fear in me. So we got to recognize it's always going to be there, but how are we going to decide to handle it and receive it? And I say cancel it. You got to cancel it and block it. Cancel it.
Yeah. Yep. Fear and faith cannot reside in the same space.
Oh man, that's good. That's good.
Gotta be one or the other.
That's good.
Gotta be one or the other.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your plays. You are able to collect and to create a spectacular ensemble cast for your events, all starting from a production that you did at your church in Maryland. And talk us through that timeline from that play in Maryland to December 14th. Like, tell us everything in between. Like, what are your productions? Give us the whole gamut.
You know what? It's funny. They start off that Christmas production.
Yeah.
But you know what? I cannot remember that first name of that production. That's how bad. That's how many plays I don't wrote. And but now I understand when sometimes those singers were like, what was the name?
What was it like?
Like, you can't remember your own song?
Right.
I get it now.
Let me see.
No, it's not in my bio.
It's not in your bio. I was gonna say, let me see if it's in your bio. Let me see if I can write.
But what it is though is it was a Christian production, but it was different.
Yeah.
How you go to church, you always see the same old production. Sometimes Christmas, you got to see Mary and the wise men and all that stuff. I wanted to change that thing. I talked about a single mom, working 2 jobs to try to survive and provide a Christmas for her kids, and she's talking about, the struggle of doing that. And she had a crazy uncle that lived with her. It was a private military guy. I'm probably was talking about myself, years in the future. But he was like, baby, you got to slow down. You're stressing yourself out, all this, worry about the expensiveness of gifts and all that stuff. And he broke it down and told her what the life of Christmas was all about. Mm-hmm. So that was that first play and how they responded. And people started calling me Little Spike Lee.
Little Spike Lee.
Yes. I was wondering why they were calling me Spike Lee, because what it was, when I write, I not only write to entertain, I write to plant seeds and educate our people. Awesome. You know what I'm saying? In the finance, when you were talking about voting in the intro of your show, I got a play that talked about that in deep cover, let your light shine in dark places. So it started with a Christian production. Then after that, it started with Cain and Abel. After that, I wrote that play 7 months later after my first play. And that's about my brother and I being raised by a grandmother.
I was going to say, because that's coming from a personal place.
Yes. A lot of my plays are personal to the point where I utilize things that was happening in my space or in my life, and I turn into a play. Mm-hmm. And I show the characters, not just everything, but what I do, you got to get the source from somewhere for, to be authentic. So I use my life experiences and things like that. So Cain and Abel is about, it talks about a grandmother who basically took on 2 young men to raise them. One chose God and one chose the streets. So my thing is to show the struggle that we both, because I love my brother and she loved her grandson. We both went into his world to bring him out of that world to save his life, But that's Cain and Abel. I'm doing that again next year. Okay. For the first time. I've never done that play since 2013, and people still talk about that play today.
What do you think resonated with them? Like, what is it? Was it the acting, the writing, just everything? Is someone sitting in the audience just like you, where you're like, look at the lighting that he's using? Like, what filter does he have on this camera? Like, is it that? Like, what is it that resonated with the audience?
I think we're a little all the above. The storyline, really, everybody have a grandma that loved them. You know what I'm saying? Some of the grandmothers today is a little different now than the grandma we grew up on. Some of the
grandmas look like me today.
Yeah, you know, some of grandma got on. They listen to Dancing Sesame Red and doing their thing, boy. But I know that. But those grandmothers that get on their knees and pray and fast for their kids and all that stuff. I think they resonated to that character, you know, that was praying and speaking in tongues and all that type of stuff on stage. Because and then had a storyline where she got a phone call and her daughter was trying to leave her boyfriend because he was domestically abusing her physically, you know, had domestic issues and all that stuff. These are based on a true events where I saw my mother when I was a young man. Because I was raised by my grandmother, I used to go spend the night with my mom, and because I wasn't used to that type of environment, it was a lot of domestic violence going on.
Wow.
So I saw them get in an argument. We go into the room, my brother and I. I remember sitting in a fetal position with a closed door, listening to my mother getting thrown across the room on the walls, you know. And then all of a sudden, she dashed in and said, "Let's go." We running, and I'm in a pitch black environment I'd never known, and they just running. I'm calling my mom name. So in a part of the play, we show the younger brothers as teenagers. Then when they get older, they have a conversation reminiscing what I just explained to you. So there's a lot of different things in that play that I think was so authentic and it's touching, from the gospel music to the background live music, you know, the live band, the storyline, the lighting, the settings, all plays important part of connecting the audience to the production. So I think a lot of that plays part too as well. Then from Kane, you want me to keep going?
Well, yes. So we're gonna pause for just 1 second, but yes, I do want you to keep going. I saw a meme on social media the other day, and I was like, you know what? I don't know why I didn't think about this, but it was so on point. It was spot on. And hey, Regina is looking at us live on Facebook. She says, "Right, don't play."
I know. I saw laughing about
in facts in her comment, and then what you said made me think about it, because I saw a post that stated, some of us are still here achieving our dreams based upon the prayers that our ancestors prayed, the prayers that our grandmothers prayed, the prayers that our grandfathers prayed. They are still sustaining us to this day. And I thought that was powerful. Do you hear me? I was just like, because I know my grandma was so powerful. My paternal grandmother. My grandmother was so powerful that when she passed away, the only thing I wanted of hers was her Bible.
Wow.
The only thing I wanted of hers was her Bible. Like, I didn't want anything else but her Bible. And the reason that I wanted her Bible was because I saw my grandmother read her Bible, write in her Bible every day. And I visited her every day.
Yeah.
And I saw my grandmother didn't work. I watched how she ended up getting a home that someone in our family just gifted her. She paid no rent. She paid nothing. Didn't have to pay for anything. I watched my grandmother feed the neighborhood. I don't even know where she was just that type of grandmother. Like, when we came to her house at any time of the day, she had a Sunday meal somewhere in her refrigerator. And I'm like, where are you cooking this stuff? So I just watched how God covered her and protected her. And I'm like, whatever it is that my grandmother has, Lord, please let some of that come on me. I promise you, when she passed, and she passed at 91, all I wanted was her Bible. I was like, give me her Bible. I just want to feel like I'm with her. Let me look through her Bible. What verses, really spoke to her. So listen, something about the power in a praying grandmother. So
that was a grandma I remember growing up on, and that's powerful what you said about the prayers and all that stuff. But yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So Regina wanted to know, where do you put on these productions? So continue to take us along this trajectory, but then also do little pit stops of where we can come and see you too.
Okay. No.
Regina will support you for real.
Okay, and I appreciate it. I'm gonna answer Regina's question right now. So the first time doing a production here in Orlando, Florida, is gonna be at the Kingdom Church that's in Pine Hills Road, 800 Pine Hills Road. So we'll talk more about that, of the production and what that's all about. A lot of my plays was in we call it the DMV, DC,
yes,
Maryland.
Sir.
Right. You know about DMV. You in the FAMU. I know you have been at the Howard.
Listen.
Hang out U Street.
Listen, I know about the DMV. I actually interned at the Washington Center in DC, so I know all about the DMV area. So yeah,
I'm gonna do a little bit. Did you do the momo sauce and the chicken?
I'm gonna tell you where I stay. I lived at a seafood joint. Like if you know anything about me, I am going to stay at a crab house. I got some seafood. I gotta eat. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm
okay.
But now you know they different from Florida.
Yeah,
from Florida, and I ain't talking about no Captain D's. I ain't talking about no Captain D's. I'm talking about the real seafood.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. That was
So DC got some good seafood areas to eat at. You know, so yeah. So we're talking about that all day.
But yeah, that's all. I heard you now, but yes.
So after Cain and Abel, I wrote. Man, it's just like I saw some stuff going in life that was frustrating me. You know, with a lot of not domestic violence, a lot of social injustice going in life at the time frame. You know, we had a lot of police brutality, our people getting killed, you know, things like that. So I was like, man, it's something going on in the world. What's going on? I just could not put it, but I realized that nobody was talking about it in the church. So I was like, I decided to write something about it. I call it Deep Cover, Let Your Light Shine in Dark Places. It was deep cover, and in parentheses, let your light shine in dark places. It was a pastor's son, going to college, decided he's going to drop out of school, and he challenged his pastor of this mega church. You got to do something. You got to talk about something. Nobody in the evangelical church is talking about it, but we got to do something, you know, and talk about it. Yeah. And so he challenged his father, and his father at the time was worried about what people are going to say, worried about he's going to lose some members and all that stuff. So his son started doing something. And then eventually what he saw what his son was doing helped his father to really join the struggle of talking about the situation. It wasn't bad. It wasn't talking bad about the police officer. But what I decided to do in this production, I said, we got to meet each other halfway, you know, and we from a Christian side, gospel side, spiritual side, the church got behind this young man and the pastor. And they got the police and all the other high officials that was involved. We met each other halfway, and they talked about it to find a solution. How are we going to solve this? And what it is, it talks about the main thing. And I did a podcast, not a podcast. I did got the community together. I forget the name. I used my platform.
Town hall.
Almost basically a town hall. Did something like a town hall, right? Okay. I invited a pastor, police officers, some mental health people, and we had a conversation. I got the community involved, and what I wanted to do is have an interaction meeting, because what it is to break down stereotypes, racism, we have to interact with each other. So that play really focused on racism, police brutality, and things like that. And I call it Deep Cover, Let Your Light Shine in Dark Places.
Awesome.
It's sad to say that, but I know I'm about to bring that play back because we still see those things still happening, and we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
the ironic thing about it, Regina, she's constantly commenting. She actually is she's retired from law enforcement. So I know that she's tuning in. She actually she's in the history books here in Polk County. You know, that's like she made history here in Polk County. So I know she's really, really perking up in that topic. But it's critical that we are able. I love the fact that you are using your art, you're using your platform, like you've stated before in this podcast, to really bring awareness to real life situations that you actually can tackle. And I think when I'm convicted that when we use our platforms for the good, for the betterment, and to
Mhm.
bring people to God. I know that he's clearing the path for us because he knows our hearts. Like he knows what your intent and what your purpose is. And so I think that's where we get that favor. That's where that
Yeah,
favor comes in. Right
exactly.
there. Yeah. And so you're keeping it going because you got a lot under your belt. You got a lot under that pen, sir.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I do have a lot, and I realize that's why I have more work to do because I was in the DMV for 10, almost 11 years of doing these performances, right? And I said, it's time for me to expand,
Yeah.
get out and put my plays out in different places and things like that. That's one thing when we get to the play, I want to talk about being the first time, that new comeback, coming back home to Florida, So, but that next play after Deep Cover, I did a play for a woman that wrote a book about losing her child. Son was murdered in Atlanta, Georgia. And she talked about going through breast cancer, losing a son, and then also going through divorce. And it called A Storm Has a Ministry Too. Right. And so I followed her and watched her, read her book, and shadowed her for a while. So I took my notes, I read a book and put everything together, and I wrote her a production, And I was doing 2020, that's during the COVID season. So it was kind of hard to promote that, but it was a good challenge for me because I was able to tap out of my own and do somebody else's story.
Yeah.
So now I realize I can do that, just basically get into reading the book. God give me the vision, see things, break it down, shadow them, go ask some questions, put all my notes together, and just start writing and develop this production. Because of the network system I'm creating, I can call actors and live bands and get, put it all together. And now we got a production. I want to actually do that more. I don't want to just do my production. I want to help other people get off their platform. They help them out with their production as well,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that play. And then after that, a marriage ministry reached out to me and said, you know what, can you write us a play? Actually, I'll Be Home for Christmas started off as a marriage ministry play.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
literally, it really did. It talks about relationships, issues and all that. So we got some married couples, we got a wife that want to act like she ain't married, you know what I'm saying? So it got all different ways of seeing things. People can relate to it. But these are adults, married people coming back home. I can get into that now. It's called I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yes.
A season of transformation, right? Basically, it's this mother is basically talking about she didn't see her adult kids, for about 5 to 6 years, after her husband died of COVID. So think about a lot of the people that we lost during COVID season.
Yeah.
She's one of those ones that lost her husband due to COVID. Because of past hurts, a lot of the kids don't want to come back home. So they stayed away from the mother. The mother been home by herself for years, celebrating Christmas. But on that block, that family was known for that family to come there to eat, party, have a good time. They were the light on that corner. Right. And just imagine, because they're not celebrating no more, everybody else is suffering now. Right. So she decided, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to my kids and say, you know what, it's time for y'all to come back home. And they decided, we're going to do this, but they realized, and before they can get back to that family that can celebrate Christmas like they used to, with the fellowship, with the good food, the music, the dancing, they have to go through those tough conversations, to see why these siblings are fighting amongst each other. What do they have against their dad or against their mother, and they cause them, they can't go back home anymore. You know how we as people sometimes, we're family, but we haven't seen our cousins and aunties or uncles or whatever for what, because someone may have said years ago, and they still holding on to that, and they don't want to be family anymore.
That family hurt is something. Yeah.
Family hurt. Well, I tell you, that's a good stage for the name. Family hurt. Look, we always be thinking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'll Be Home for Christmas, a season of transformation, is all about. You got to have that transformation in the family, to be able to get back to it. So it's going to be good. We got a live band. We got some great singers. We got some great actors in it. And once again, it started off as a marriage ministry, right? But I just blew this up, and then churches was inviting me to bring this play to their church. Then when my pastor first saw it at the time in Maryland, he said, man, nah, this is not just a marriage ministry play. this is a family play.
Yeah.
The whole church got to see this because we did it as a dinner theater.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. I wrote the play for the marriage ministry, and they had their little marriage ministry dinner theater. But when he saw it, he said, "Nah, the whole congregation need to see this play because this is good for the whole family." And you
so
know,
it started as an in-house play, and then you're able to take it out on the road. Okay.
Oh yeah. It's that vision, you know, because I had people to help me to. Hey, I had a chef, then I had the decorating committee, and I brought the production all together. So we had a dinner. We had a dinner theater. I actually want to do that in Polk County one day. I want to do a dinner theater, at Lake Eva somewhere, or or a Lakeland. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you already have an in-house host. Wink, wink. You have.
I have one for the summer play. But guess what? I got a cigar lounge. Want to bring me in to do a Valentine type small production?
Yeah,
we're looking for an MC person. For that.
I think I know someone who's highly qualified. A major in marketing. Has her own podcast.
There you go, man. That's gonna be great. Yeah. And so what I want to call that's gonna be for Valentine's. I'm currently writing pieces
hold on,
of it.
talk about 1 second, because let me tell you how I just posted something about these crabs in a barrel. Do not reach out to him talking about you from Polk County, and you are, don't y'all, Akiva, you know how people work. But no, I just but
I know. I'll just mess with you.
I know.
Yeah, but nah, it's good though. This Christian production December 14th is gonna be great. Like I said, I'm currently, as I'm doing that, I'm getting bits and pieces of writing the script now for the Valentine's. I really want to do that.
Yeah,
I have a heart for relationships because I went through a divorce. I want people to succeed in their relationship, but it's gonna take a lot of work on both sides. As we get older, we get in our set in our ways. So I want to write this small little production there over dinner and cigars and all that stuff. What they want to do while they do their little thing. I'm gonna have a couple performing on the show, and we're gonna call it Dangerously in Love, right? And I got a DJ. It's gonna be a little different. We're gonna implement the script with the DJ playing. I don't want to talk too much, but
I'm loving this. Like I'm visualizing in my brain. Okay,
we bringing back some old music that I'm gonna give you a little tip. What the girl say? I'm gonna give everybody a little something. She sit down and she just sit back and she's looking at her boyfriend and he's on his phone. What we always do. And she's like, put it down. It's like, babe, do you remember the time where we didn't have the internet? Do you remember the time where we just talked on the phone, with this little line going to the wall, and we used to listen to the slow jams and we talk about the music and we talk about how much we're in love. Can we just do that tonight? Can we just put all our social media down and just talk, And then also she would go and say, do you remember this song when we first started dating? DJ come in with that song. Boom, 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 boom.
Girl,
There you go. You knew that was going.
Listen, look, it's a divine thing. I'm gonna tell you why this is the divine thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna send you my picture that you need for the flyer and all that.
Right. Okay.
I'm telling you because that song was one of my parents' favorite songs. Like I remember this time they were kind of going through like a little rocky patch, and I remember going to LA because my sister lived there, and this song came on the radio, and it was that. This was in probably 1994, and my sister was like, that's mom and dad's song, right?
Oh wow, for real?
Did you not? I said, take me to the LBC. With Snoop Dogg, that's all we knew was about the LBC.
I know that's right.
Take me to a record. I went to a record store in the LBC in Long Beach County, and it was a cassette tape.
Wow.
And I brought that tape back. When I say I put all of my friends on to Lenny Williams, like I remember I could not wait to get home and just put that music on because I'm a music lover. I love music. I was on the radio in Tallahassee, but I love music. I remember I blasted that from the radio, from my stereo, and my parents came out and they're like, what you know about that song? And I'm like,
You caught their attention.
This was before Steve Harvey put it on the Kings of Comedy. I was on Lenny Williams then.
There you go.
Yeah. All you gotta do is hit them first little chorus.
Yeah. Yeah. So you knew when I said that.
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. I just showed you just a glimpse of what that, and you saw the vision, and that's what we're gonna do. And I know they're gonna have a good time that night.
Yeah, that sounds so dope. Like I like that. I like that vision. I like it.
We'll talk more about that. You'll talk more about that.
Yes.
Could I pause for 1 second? Because I want to get my power cord. I'm looking at my computer. I want to. You can talk to your I know you got some people asking you questions.
I do. So hey Regina, how you doing? You said you heard some Lenny. Listen, we have got to get a group together so that we can go to this play. We can go and support Akiva because his play is going to be on December 14th. And it is going to be in Orlando, right in Pine Hills. So we need to get us a group together. Those of you who are listening, if you want to join my Jazzie crew, we're going to get a group together and we are going to go and support this fantastic play, Home for Christmas. So you've heard Akiva give you the ins and outs of what it is about. Like when I heard the theme music from the flyer, I was just like, okay, yeah. You know how Christmas makes you feel all fuzzy and warm and you get in the Christmas mood. And I have not been to a play in a very long time, like around the Christmas holidays, other than when your church performs the plays. And I don't want to see kids. I don't want to see the kid performances and all of that. Like if you come from a church where a pastor like really loves the theatrics, like I have a pastor that theater is his thing. So we have the mics and we have all this stuff. And so he loves to put on Christmas performances. But Jazzie crew, we're gonna get a group together and we're gonna go and we're gonna support Akiva for his play on December 14th. So Regina, I want you there. If you're not out of the country, because I know how you and your husband do, y'all may be in Portugal somewhere. I don't know. You may be in Bethlehem on December 14th. But I do I want to get a group together, Akiva, and we're gonna come over, we're gonna support you. Because I'm in need for a play. So yeah, we gonna be in the December 14th.
Oh man, that's gonna be great.
We gotta be up in the December 14th.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. I will give you guys a shout out too as well. Definitely give you a shout out. My
Thank
MC.
you.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah. Listen, so you have this. How is it that I know that you stated it's your village, because you said from the chef to the pastor, you guys just come together and you make it work. But you've had some heavy hitters in the entertainment business that have come aboard and have become a part of your productions along the years. And so like how does that come about? Is it just like really a word of mouth thing in the theater community? Like how does that work?
So initially I start off with the church members, right? And transition from church members to the people in the community. From the people in the community, I started recruiting off Instagram, Facebook. I call myself a college recruiter, like a football coach. Yeah, I would go and study people, go to their production, watch them. I would go and watch them on Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff. And I reach out, send them messages. If they reply, great. I would sell them the vision, and they want to get on board. A lot of them don't reply back, but a lot of them do. Some do and some don't. So I go from there, and I did that for a long period of time of using both talent from IG, from the social media to the community, and also church members. Yeah. Done that for like 10 years, doing it just like that, right? Now, for the first time, I'm getting my celebrity status in. Not my status, but their status to coming into my play, to believing in the script. I remember Dorian Wilson read my script and he said, man, this script is a monster. For him who majored in theater, been in the industry for major years, and talking about a guy that never went to write script, and he said this script is a monster. You know? Yeah. So you know what? It's amazing.
You guys don't know who Dorian Wilson is. Professor Ogilvy.
That's right. Monique was so much in love with him.
Who I used to die when he used to say, "You nincompoop." He always just called her nincompoop. Right. What? But right. Yeah, I love him.
But man, just talking to him on the phone, talking to his manager, got a chance to talk to Carl Payne. We had Carl Payne one time. We had to release him, but talking to him on the phone, talking to Tony Grant on the phone that worked with Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, man,
So that's a beast right now.
if I would have gave up, I never would have had this opportunity to start talking to these guys on the phone and social media and things like that. Because of me reaching out to them, reaching out to their managers decided to come talk to me. And I realized when they talk to me, God gonna give me the words to say, and I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it to them. You know, gotta pay for them, but I'm gonna sell it to them.
You gonna have to pay.
Right, gonna have to pay. However, but thank God I have that silent partner. And I always tell her, I said, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Because I want him. That's right, Regina. He will do it. He will do it all the time, you know.
All the time.
But yeah, it's just I see the transition of where God has taken me. And I'm doing this part-time, Jazz. I'm actually, this is not full-time for me. My full-time job, I'm a IT security guy in cyber. You know, I work from home. You know,
so you just fit it in. Like that's because we could never really even converse. Because I'm like, and you're like, you're doing late night rehearsals and all that. I'm like, I was like, I don't want to bother him. Like, I just, I want him to be.
You can reach out me anytime. Yeah, reach out me anytime because I believe in the cell phone. I'm always expecting a phone call. I'm expecting a text message.
Yeah.
Because you gotta expect, because if you that driven, you're gonna get that call from somebody.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that text. I remember now that I'm working with the CEO of a company, and thank you, Sharina. She said, good conversation. Yeah. I'm also got an independent, working on some other things with another company, IT security guy. Mm-hmm. This guy made $35 million a year in his first year in this IT company, right? He called me, he texted me, and I'm doing production work for him now. So I'm not only writing plays, I'm doing other things under my production company, so I'm busy. But I'm always say I'm never too busy for opportunities and friends and family and things like that. But he sent me a text message at 4 a.m. Said he need a videographer and a photographer at 5 p.m. today. He just got a speaking engagement for his book, and he's a motivation speaker. I woke up at 7 o'clock, and guess what? I was mad at myself because I wasn't able to respond to him within 30 minutes of that text message. In the military, they say once you get an email, they expect you to respond at a certain time. I treat that in my life too as well. When I text somebody, I gotta pipe it down sometimes because I expect people to do what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
Some people gotta see that text. I'll apply to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I was mad at myself. That I missed 3 hours of this man texting me. If he was at 4 o'clock in the morning, I should have been up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But see, he's a CEO of a multi-million company. And I said, I should have been up at 4 o'clock waiting for that text message or that phone call. Yeah.
But you're good. I mean, you are connected. So you have many other 4 a.m. phone calls to answer.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, do you have any thoughts of wanting to go on the big screen? Even starting with Tubi, Netflix, all of that good stuff. Is that in the future for you?
That is. I'm making a good business relationship with a lot of videographers. I'm telling them I want to start turning a lot of my plays into films because I see Cain and Abel as a series. I actually want to start. Let me tell you this here. Florida is my home, right? Florida always been. When I lived in DC for about 23 years, I never lost my Southern accent. They all like, man, where you from? I've been living here for about 15 years, man. He said, you don't like you from here. You don't sound like So I never lost my Southern accent.
Yeah.
But this play that turned into a film, it's called Cain and Abel, like I told you earlier. But I see it as a series. And I want to be recorded in DC. All right. But I also want to take DC of the families and the characters in that film and take it back to where I was from, where I was born. So I want to see it in Fort Lauderdale. I want to take it to Daytona Beach, here in Polk County, all that stuff. Because I remember seeing some movies when they like those Italian movies, and they in New York, and they say, "Yo, Bill, let's go down." Well, not Bill, some Italian name. They'll say, "Let's go down to Miami. We got a spot down there that we want to go and buy it." So they show them going from New York to Miami. That's what I want to do with Cain and Abel. I want to show that transition. But it's really behind the scene is where I have made connection with, and stuff like that. So to your question, yes. There I do want to turn a few of my plays into films and also Tubi as well, to go on Tubi.
Yeah. What do you think in this life thus far, all of the experiences that you've gone through have led you to this point? What do you think some things as a 51-year-old man, what are some things that you've learned? What are some things that you're like, wow, looking back on my life, this is what I saw. Like this is like what life is speaking to me, the messaging that I'm receiving right now in my life.
One, wake up, always give honor to God. I could not do anything without him, building me up for this. He set me up to build who I am after all the stuff I lost at an early age. I could have gave up. I could have had mental issues. I could have turned to drugs. I had opportunity to be a drug dealer. I had all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? My father, for all my life, he was in prison. And my brother was, he was doing the same thing, but he changed his life. So that's in my gene to really live an illegal life. You know what I'm saying? Just like I have this positive way of thinking, you don't think I have the illegal way of thinking too? Yeah. Now, I have to decide where I want to choose. I want to choose God. I want to choose the enemy, Satan, do I want that fast money? But we already know what happened with the fast money, where it ends up either death or prison. Right. I got locked up one time, and I looked at myself, that little mirror thing when they got in the jail cell. I said, "This ain't for me." That ain't for me. I walk around and I'm like, nah, this ain't for me. Right, I like my freedom too much, Yeah. So I had to see that stuff. I have a heart for people. So as I'm climbing the ladder, learning things, I want to teach people the same way. I want to teach them how to network. I developed it early in my life. Now, going up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a lot of my family went to Dillard High School,
Okay. But, oh, hold on.
Let the Panthers up.
Hold on. Do you know any of the Hollies? I know Nikki's like, any of the Hollies?
Yeah. I know the Hollies. I know the Hollies.
Holly. Let's see. Stacy, you and Stacy may be classmates. So Stacy.
No, I was about to tell you. Look, I started off in elementary, middle school, in the Everglades Middle School for about a year, and then all the little recruitment things started coming into the black neighborhoods, recruiting in private school. So I literally started going to private school at the in grade 9th grade. No, literally 6th grade, middle school. 7th grade. Then I went to high school in Pompano Beach, Florida, Westminster Academy. Okay. Right. So that's a whole different storyline. Yeah. That's where literally I started developing my networking system. Went from one side of the track to the other side of the track, and being around. Different. Yeah. It showed me a different life at a young age. When I went into a man's house called King, King, and couldn't find out that was Oprah Winfrey, or the Oprah Winfrey go off the show and say King's World.
Oh, wow.
I was going to school with his sons.
Goodness.
Yeah. I remember in the 80s, I was like, what is that? It was a big old projector screen coming off the wall, and it wasn't in the stores at the time. Then when you walk in his house, you see a big yacht in the back, So then you go in to see, Bo Jackson is, right? Mm-hmm. So I go into another friend's room. He living off a golf course, I go into his room. Hey, come on in. I had that spirit. Everybody loved me, right? So I was friends with everybody. So they invited me over, walked into his room. I said, he's like, that's the bat Bo Jackson broke off his leg when he got angry. Oh, he gave it to his father because his father was the doctor of the Miami Dolphins team.
Wow.
So all this here, I still friends with those guys now, right? Mm-hmm. But it showed me a lifestyle that I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I said, if they can do it, I want to do it. So what I did, not realize, I thought it was like, well, King he was wealthy. The other guy, he was just rich, but a lot of them was upper middle class. So I said, okay, I want what they got. So I worked my butt off. I feel like now I'm at a point where I said, okay, I'm a good, maybe upper middle, right? Yeah. But I want more because I saw more. And as now at my age, they have achieved even higher. So guess what? I want to go to that next level where they're going. So they motivate me in a way they don't realize. They motivated me. Yeah. Got to get off the subject, but one time we call this the mancation. All those guys I described, they're friends. We get together once a year. They get we was at his lake house in Georgia, beautiful home, right? And we just chill out and have a good time.
Yeah.
This is 1 year that I lost my job working for the FBI, right, as a contractor. I didn't have the funds to go there one time. You know, this guy sent his pilot to come pick me up and fly me to Georgia. And I said, the only way I can do that is that my daughter has a competition in Virginia Beach. I ain't gonna be able to go. Don't worry. Come, we'll get you there. You know, his pilot was there partying with us, having a good time. I said, where you going? He said, I got to go to bed. I got to get rest because I got to take you to Virginia Beach, from Georgia to Virginia Beach.
Wow.
I was in a plane by myself where he's flying me from Georgia to Virginia Beach.
Room.
Then I take an Uber. I take an Uber from Georgia. I mean, from the airport to the competition to meet time to be at my daughter's cheerleading competition.
That's amazing.
I'll never forget it. But guess what? I said, I'm gonna do that one day too. And I'm gonna do that for my friend. I want to. They taught me, bro. I don't own a plane, but they taught me how to rent a plane, but it costs. But I want to give that same experience that I experienced. I want to do this with my true good friends and family. Yeah. That's right.
I want to be in a circle.
I know that's right.
Let me audition to be in a circle. You got you a real one right here. You got your genuine one. I'm a rattler.
That's right.
And that's the thing to boast about. But I know how y'all Wildcats feel about it. That's okay. That's okay. Goodness, like I love this conversation. Like I am so glad you said yes to this. I don't know if you asked me or if I asked you. It really doesn't even matter.
No, I reached out to you. I asked you. I said, "Can you please let me come on your show?"
Absolutely. Okay, so y'all watching. Lord, let this be a testament. Jesus, like, just honestly, just keep doing what you love, what you are driven to do. Like you ask God for that to just really instill in you, give you that vision of, Lord, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Because this is for me how my podcast came about. And it's like a lot of people always ask me how I'm able to get this guest or that guest. And literally just listening to what, Mr. McClam just said, like he reached out to me like that. It was a mutual thing. Like I gravitated to him because I started like you look and you research people. I'm like, oh my God, he reached out to me, or I reached out to him, or he said yes. I think at that point I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have him on my podcast. Like this is, connections, divine connections that are great. Hey, I'm right here in the close to the Central Florida area, so why not? It makes sense. And so I definitely appreciate your time. I want you to definitely tell everyone again about your upcoming play on December 14th. Let us know how we can get tickets. I see that you have your website listed below, and so tell us all about it.
Yeah, so you go to www.McClam and you'll see me coming out first, the first picture there. I'm happy about the website because we did a little upgrade to that. So thank you, Q, if she watched this series. Thank you for that. This play is all about family. It's about marriage. It's about unforgiveness, getting back to the family and relationship in your marriage. You don't have to be married. You can be dating somebody. But you got to get to the point of having a strong communication in your relationship, in your marriage, and also in the family. So a celebration coming up December, celebration of Christ's birthday. So my thing is this family, before they can get back there, they got to literally talk about those tough conversations. And that's what we got to do in life. If we want to have a successful relationship, successful marriage, we got to have those tough conversations. And it's dealing with sometimes some unforgiveness situation. So it's called I'll Be Home for Christmas, a Season of Transformation. Go to the website. We got some great people casting. Trey Chaney from The Wire, from BMF. He worked with 50 Cent. We got Dorian Wilson. You guys know him from The Parkers and all the things he's doing now in theater. We got a lot of actors coming from the DMV. We got Eddie Wilson, guys. He's from this area. He's been a playwright. He's been doing this thing here, Eddie Wilson and Ebony Coleman. So we got a lot of local people as well. We got some upcoming artists, Sasha Poston, she's a part. We got a dance team out of the Kingdom Church the Believe. I've been working with them. So come out support. It's gonna be I want to give you guys some quality work. If you're gonna work hard, purchase your tickets. I'm telling you, you will not forget this production.
Definitely. We definitely will be supporting. I cannot wait to see it. It's going to be some good singing, right? I love me some good singing, some good music, because you said we got a live band, all of that good stuff, great narrator, just like all of the elements of a magnificent play. And then it's around the holiday season. So not only are we going to go and see this fantastic play about family having to resolve things, bring your family, because you know how you were saying with the event that you're going to have with the cigars and the singing and all of that. Sometimes we talk to each other through songs and we try to give a little hint, like listen to your song, we turn it up real loud in the car. Invite your family to this play. If y'all have some resolve to do, if y'all got some things you need to resolve, say, look at how this family had to hit it on the head and become that great family that the neighborhood looked up to and expected great things from. So make sure you get your tickets December 14th. Where's the location again? I know it's Orlando, Florida. I think it's Pine Hills.
Yeah, 800 North. If I got it right, 800 North Pine Hills Road, and that's Orlando, Florida.
Yes, Orlando. So let's go ahead and let's go to Old Town.
Old Town, we call it Old Town.
Go ahead and come to Old Town.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be trying to get a group together so that we can come and support you. And I really do appreciate you supporting the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast by being my special guest for episode 137. If you are in town, you're probably in Maryland right now. But if you are in you're here. Okay.
Yeah. I'm in Haines City.
Did you say Plant City?
No, Haines City.
Oh, I was going to say, what you doing in itty bitty Plant City? Like,
well, Plant City. If I went to the Strawberry Festival last year, I would have had a great time in Plant City. Right. And honesty, and really in all seriousness, like prayers to people in Haines City, because in Plant City, because they took a huge hit from Hurricane Milton. Like there's so much flooding that went on in Plant City that I was just not even expecting it to hit. But I actually just did a health and wealth conference summit in Haines City. I was just in Haines City on Saturday. So hey, we probably just missed. I should have invited you there if I would have known that you were gonna come. If you were gonna be in Haines City, like you could have just come there. Like the commissioner was there, the mayor, the vice mayor, everybody was there at this event. I actually know the mayor, the acting mayor at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do. You know. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. I met him.
He's a pretty cool dude. He was one of the hosts for one of the panels, one of the first panels that went up. So yep, so awesome. So listen, so it is a small world, and I marvel at how people are connected. Like I truly believe that Kevin Bacon kind of, is it 6 degrees or 7 degrees of separation? Like you're only like 6 people away from who you really, really want to meet or be. So this is a divine connection. I feel it. And so again, you have a host for your event that's coming up that you're going to have. And I look forward to being at your event. You are definitely invited to my podcast event if you are here November 9th, which is
I already got it on I got it on my calendar. I saw it.
I know that's right. Yeah. From noon to 5, and it's going to be in Lakeland. So please come be my special guest. I'd love to shout you out in the audience and all of that. Everybody that I see with these comments, you guys are going to be you guys are already in the building. You already got your tickets. So make sure you get your tickets to the play. Thank you so much, Regina, for hanging in there with us. Go to www.McClam.enterpriseproductions.com and purchase your tickets for December 14th. I'll be home for Christmas. Make sure that you support this play. So I thank you so much for being my special guest.
Oh, no problem. I want to thank your listeners for being, because they take up their time to listen to us. I want to just always recognize them. So thank you guys very much for tuning in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And ditto to that, because there's no us without the audience, right? There's no us without the supporters. So, I love my Jazzie crew. And so we will definitely keep in contact. I'm going to be sharing content over the next week leading up to our next episode, but you will know more and more about Akiva. So Akiva, give us your social. What's your social handle so people can follow you?
So great. So you can reach me at Akiva, AKIVA _ McClam Enterprise. That's on IG. And I'll Be Home for Christmas is IBFORC.
Okay.
Yeah.
IBFORC.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Acronym under your belt. And we will make sure that we definitely support you. When I repost this, I'll make sure I put his social handle and
Please.
also his website. All right. So thank you so much. This has been another fantastic episode of the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast. Make sure you tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on IG, Facebook, and on YouTube Live. Make sure that you subscribe, you share, and you also leave me a review in the comment section. That's the way that we grow, right? So share this podcast episode with someone who's inspiring to be someone who wants to be in theater, a playwright, someone who just really needs that motivation and that extra push to try God, to trust God, to follow their dreams, and to live life to their full potential. And so I will see you next Monday. And remember, right here, all goal diggers are welcome. And that's GOAL diggers. I believe you can come back from anything with God, the right resources, knowing how to use those resources effectively, and your willingness to do the necessary work. So I will see you guys back here on next Monday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much. My special guest, playwright, Mr. Akiva D. McClam. We will see you on December 14th. Yeah. I can't wait to hear that. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't have that in the play, but I'm a ride all the way the entire way to Lenny Williams.
Yes.
All right. See you later.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care. Good night, everybody. All right. Bye-bye.
Good night.